Right, welcome once again to DM Live TV. With me on the show is Vaola. I will be the CEO and founder of Wena Hardware.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we just had an interview with Vaola, and among the things he mentioned are the partners that have helped her grow her business, Wena Hardware. And among those partners is the NTF4. So, Vaola, tell us briefly about what happened, how you joined the NTF4, and how it has helped you grow your business.
Thank you. NTF4, the Netherlands Trust Fund.
Yes.
Put out a call. I think it was, I don't remember, but I saw a call in June.
Okay.
And I applied in June 2018.
All right.
I applied, and a month or so later, I got feedback in my email that I had been selected. We went for training.
Yes.
So there were different trainings before they could select.
But by the way, even before they select you, I remember you told me you applied when you were in your bus.
Yes. I was on my way back to Fort Porto, and that's where I was working at that time.
Okay.
So I was leaving Kampala, heading back to Fort Porto. Fort Porto is 5 hours away from, 5 hours away from Kampala. So I didn't know what else I could do on that journey, and I got my phone, and then that's when I saw the call, I think, on Facebook.
Yes.
So I applied, got the feedback. I started out later when I got the feedback, and we went for a training. I don't know if it's called a training, but it was that phase where we were being oriented. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And then we were grouped in different categories depending on what stages the businesses were at.
Yes.
And when I was selected in the growth stage category, because thank you, because we're already making a bit of revenue, even when it was, a struggle.
Yes.
And at that time, when we got the different categories, we got the different training programs that we joined.
Yes.
And one of them being the business model canvas. That was my first, and one that I actually cannot forget, because it was such an eye-opener. I didn't know a lot about my business. Even when I had started this business, I was up and running. I did not really know exactly what I was up to, what my value proposition was, what I needed to operate, how I needed to operate. So all those things I learned during that very training, the business model canvas. So if anyone is interested, they can either look for NTF4 or Google the business model canvas.
Yes.
And then I got to a point when I understood certain processes in my business, which helped me become more efficient, which I wasn't before that program. I then understood who I need for a certain order to be processed, what finances I need for my business, what stage anyway my business is at, because I actually didn't know anything. I was just, up selling materials. I didn't really know a lot about my business and the internal processes and what I needed to modify, what I needed to let go. And then after that training, I also underwent value proposition, and that basically is understanding the value that you're giving to your customers. Yes, I am a marketer. I knew the marketing bit, but then I now needed to understand it from an entrepreneur's perspective. And those two are quite different, even when sometimes they seem like the same. So that is what that training specifically was about, understanding who my customers are and expect of Wena as a business, not Vaola as a marketer.
Yes.
That also helped me understand exactly what I needed to do internally, what I needed to improve internally. That, it was not just a training where you come and there is a whiteboard, and then after that day
it was practical.
It was very practical.
With homework.
With homework, and we also had to present our businesses every other session. So it's first of all, the fellow entrepreneurs that are part of the program that you can always share with and also count on, but also present your business to alone help you improve your business. Because what I have learned is that every time I share my business, I always learn something in return.
Yes.
Because there is that one thing that you've not been seeing or thinking as someone else is not going to look at it. So this community, the NTF4 project startups, made me polish up my business model, the target customers that I was looking at. And why I say this is very helpful, even when I'm professionally a marketer, is as an entrepreneur, you have resources.
Yes.
That is money and time and the employees that can only do certain things in a given time.
Yes.
So if you bring the marketing bit to the entrepreneurship bit, it means you're overselling what a business cannot actually deliver. And then there is going to be a problem. There is going to be a gap. So me understanding what the business's ability is, and what my team can deliver on, and what time we have for us to actually get things shipped out for customers was very, very important. Otherwise, I would have oversold expectations that customers would also take on, and yet in reality, we couldn't be able to deliver
them. So how has the journey been? And of course, I'm going to ask you about the Berlin or standing ovation. So how has the journey been?
So
the exposure.
Yeah, so we've had different exposure tours and trips, but also had different ecosystem players and meetings and engagements. So we locally, I've been able to have safe border, not really at my disposal, but someone I can always reach out to.
Yes.
Safe border is a big brand. So being in this community means that at least you can reach out to someone because you're in the same project. They've done slightly more than what you've achieved at the moment, so you can always count on them. And for me, that one was also very helpful, and is still very helpful. When we get to the regional space, NTF4 is part of different countries, though it has different names in different countries, but at least there is that footprint in other countries. So if you want any hands-on experience in other countries, then you can always reach out to them, and they can also, contact their local contacts. And that is very helpful, especially for people who plan to get regional or global. And that is something that has been very helpful. Then the European tours that myself or Wena and other startups have gone through are very exposing in a sense that for example, I went to the Facebook offices, Berlin, that for me. That for me is like it. Like being in that space, I've been to Airbus. Like being
it shifts your mind.
It challenges you on what you think you can achieve, because other people have achieved them, so why not you?
Why not you?
And when they take you through what it has taken them to build what they have, you get to see that possibility that you can also achieve it, you can also build it, and that has been very, very helpful. When we come to the advisory services, NTF4 has someone that I can literally call and say, I am stuck, I need to do ABCD. These are people who have done it and have experienced it. So they are not people who are paid to just tell you what to do. They have actually practiced what they are talking about. And for me, that is like everything an entrepreneur would really want. So that ecosystem where you can always reach out to people when you need assistance is very, very important for growing entrepreneurs and growing brands. And there are so many things, but lastly, what NTF4 has also...
Before you go lastly, there's this Berlin, the standing ovation. What did you win and how did you get there?
Yes. Still about NTF4, we as a growth stage startup, there are so many things that we get to take part in. One of them being the trips,
Okay.
the exposure trips. So one of them in Berlin, we had training with different coaches,
Yes.
and also had competition
Yes.
at each night, which when I participated
to investors.
Yes, to investors, to fellow local entrepreneurs,
Okay.
and to people who are just passionate about it. It was a mixed audience.
Okay.
So, which when I participated in, and we got the.
Show me that face. Show me the face.
Yeah. So, us having been recognized really
as an outstanding
on
innovation.
Was,
yes.
But I think people should also understand what I won. So I won a 3 months training from Green Tech Capital. Green Tech is one of the biggest investors. So their foundation arm was to coach me for 3 months, which they did, and that was a 360 coaching for my business, from tech to people to systems to everything. And also I won a trip to Paris.
Hey.
Yes. However,
yes.
as COVID,
so
I did. Yeah, it was supposed to be in June 2020, but I mean that's when the world was literally in lockdown. But it was carried forward, so I will be traveling soon. And
okay. And you just mentioned that. You mentioned that during lockdown, you used the skills to train to employ staff.
Yeah.
What was that?
So, for example, before I had to personally be present for things to get done before lockdown. But now we're in a place where we needed to, like remotely, we are not all in the same space. We need things to be done.
Okay.
So it meant that I had to let people do to own their departments.
Okay.
To own their roles as managers, as operations managers, and for them to come up with solutions. Some of them have attended the trainings by NTF4.
Yes.
So it also means that we do not get to learn things the same way.
Okay.
So when we get back, or during the lockdown time, we would then share and then get to implement what we actually learned as a team.
Then you can now come up to the last one.
Lastly, NTF4 has investor days, or days where they bring investors, both local and international investors. And I have been privileged to be part of the different startups that pitch to investors. Okay. And it's also exciting to know that the investors are interested in my business. We are in talks, so I'm just yeah.
Okay.
Ever since I joined the NTF4 project, I started from three employees, with myself as the fourth. We've now grown to one regional brand. Yes. Because we are now in Kenya. Yes. That also grown in terms of revenue. And also grown in terms of the staffing, the number of employees. How many are you now? We are now 12. From 3? Yes, from 3. And also, I don't know if I should talk about those who come in once in a while. Yes. Yeah. They earn from Wena Hardware. Yes, and also about 3 people, 3 interns, and 5 people who, let me call them support staff, but they are not support staff, only that I cannot really retain them now, like a lawyer. Yeah, so those who come in to get our things in order.
I think I saw a tweet recently from Martin congratulating you on your partnership with Jumia. Yes. What was that? Let me first give credit to NTF4. So had it not been that hard that they gave us to get to organize ourselves, I think we didn't partner with a big brand. Like Jumia. So us getting to partner with Jumia means that we exclusively sell construction materials on Jumia. Okay. So all the construction materials on Jumia are Wena.
Wena is
that's
exclusively
like wow.
Yes, and it's interesting, it's exciting, and it's many things, but also it's a learning curve. Because when you see how many orders are coming from Jumia, and then you get back to see how many orders you are personally bringing in, you get challenged, and you get to appreciate that there is still space to grow.
Yes,
and it's only going to take a bit of work. Not a bit, it's going to take work.
It's going to take work. It's going to take work. Yeah. All
right.
Any parting shots? That's what you have.
I want to thank the NTF4 project. I wish it could go on and do it, but also I wish it could open up to other entrepreneurs. All the entrepreneurs I've been with are really they are both amazing people as individuals, but also have very credible business models and business ideas. So myself and some of the people that I have interacted with are really grateful for that project. We always have the breakfast. There is so much that happened. The breakfast meetings.
Yes.
Okay, lockdown affected some of those, but it's always like a live. You meet casually, relaxed, nothing serious. You get to talk about your businesses.
You sharpen each other.
So it's interesting, and it's such a beautiful community to know that you have people who are equally hustlers like you. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's from Vaola, and that's one of her partners, the NTF4 project. It's DM Live TV. Dixon Mshawe, your host. Bye bye till next time.